everybody, this is Marika with the Limelight Pet Project, and I'm here with my two besties, Holly Cook and Tracy Campion, who are also of the Limelight Pet Project. But we have a new team member that I want Holly to introduce us to.
This is Sunny.
So
Call her Sunny Bear or Sunny Bunny. I'm not sure which one's going to stick yet.
I love it. So Sunny was our feature for this week, the last week of 2020. And Holly fell in love with her.
Yep.
Just like over Zoom.
Yep. Yeah.
And decided to adopt her. So today we're talking about a lot of stuff today. We're talking about how Limelight has evolved during this absolutely weird year. But I feel like this is like magically the perfect ending to a year that has thrown us so much, because Holly is experiencing the magic of bringing a harder to adopt pet into her home. So tell us a little bit about like what led to you being able to have Sunny.
2.5 weeks ago, my heart cat passed away. She was 21. And her story is pretty important to understand how she came into my life. She picked me. I was at a Christmas party and I had to leave early, and I was walking down the driveway to get to my car, and this little ball of fur, she couldn't have been more than 4 or 5 weeks old, appeared out of a bush, followed me to my car and hopped in my car. And I'm like, Kitty, you can't come with me. You can't be in my car. Get out of my car. So I picked her up and I put her back on the pavement. She hopped back in my car. So I shut the door, fully expecting this cat to freak out and say, oh my God, what's happening? She did not. So I started the car, put the car in gear, drove a little bit, waited. She didn't do anything. So I opened the door, put her back out, and I waited, and she hopped back in my car. And then she went over to the passenger seat and she sat down and she said, okay, let's go. And I thought, this cat's got to belong to somebody. So I drove a little way, waiting for her to freak out, and she never did. She put on my shoulder the whole way home. And when I got home, I walked in the house with her in my arms, and I said to Tony, look what followed me home. Can we keep her? And she was with us for 21 years. She passed away almost to the day that I found her. So it was 21 years. And that cat was the most special cat that I have ever had. She was my other half as far as cats go. And I was
very close by during many of our Limelight virtual interviews, because she was just right there curled up on your bed.
Yeah, she'd sleep under my bed while I was doing my work. She'd watch TV with us. She had a little cubby hole next to the couch so I could just like reach over and pet her. And she was just my constant companion as far as cats go. Very special. And so when she passed away suddenly, I think she had some sort of trauma happen, a stroke or something, and it was a very quick passing. And I was a little bit in shock, and was having a really hard time with it, and really never thought I was going to get another cat. I had been talking about getting a pair of kittens for the longest time because I love the amount of energy and the life that they bring. And every time I go to Tracy's house, I'm like, oh, there's so much happiness here, because her cats are constantly playing and running around and loving on each other. But I just was not in that space. I could not bring kittens home. And we were doing our interview with Everett Animal Shelter, and Sunny just was, I don't know what happened. It was just magic. It was one of those moments when even virtually the cat looked at me and I knew she was supposed to be with me. I just knew she was supposed to be with me. And I almost stopped the interview at a couple of times and said, you guys, this is pointless because I know I'm going to get this cat. But I wanted to make sure that it was the right thing to do. So we finished the interview, and I couldn't get into the Everett site to do the online application. And I thought, well, then this is not meant to be. But Lindsay sent me the application via email. So I filled it out, and I scanned it in, and I knew that Lindsay was going out of town, and I sent it in, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to hear anything, and I kind of left it at that. Well, then I got the phone call, and they're like, are you interested in her? And I'm like, yeah. And so they started to describe her to me, and I'm like, you guys, I just got off the Zoom interview, so let me tell you what I know about her. So I told them everything that we had talked about, and they're like, well, you know her really well. You can come get her tomorrow. Unless you want to come pick her up today. And they said, well, what time? She said 3 o'clock. I said, perfect. That gives me time to go out and get cat litter.
And what I love is you didn't tell us immediately. You
No.
just were like, so you guys, what happens if with like our Limelight feature this week if I adopt Sunny? Do we just like what do we run it? I was like, no, we don't run her her feature if you adopt her. And you're like, I'm so sorry. I'm on my way to get her. I'm so sorry. Are you kidding me? We choose you adopting her over anything.
I just felt like we had put so much effort into getting her featured, and I know that Lindsay was she had plans for the day, and so we even moved our segment, by an hour to accommodate her. And I just thought, I'm really throwing a monkey wrench into the plans. But as I was talking to Tony about it, my husband, I was talking to him about it, telling him, I feel kind of bad about this because I'm putting other people out. He's like, well, maybe that was all part of the plan. Maybe it was supposed to happen. You were supposed to meet her at 10 o'clock so you could go pick her up at 3 o'clock because the shelter closed at 4. And as soon as they brought her out to me and she looked at me, I'm just like, yep, that's the one. That's it. And it didn't matter that she's 14 or that, she has had a really rough past couple of months being a stray. I'm sure that whoever had her originally must be missing her because she's an amazing cat. So we brought her home. We put her in the spare bedroom, like the entire room is hers, and she was ready to come out. It took about 6 hours, and she was ready to come out. So we opened the gate, and we put the gate across the hall so the dog couldn't, meet her. And the dog came to the gate. We had bubble wrap on one side of the gate because the dog's afraid of bubble wrap. But the dog stood on one side of the bubble wrap going, what is that? And Sonny turned around and hissed at her, just like there was no, the body language didn't match what was coming out of her mouth. And she walked down the center of the hallway into my son's room and ended up on my son's lap for the evening. And it was just, she's home now. She's just home.
What a perfect way to end a year with so many ups and downs and pivots and uncertainty. I mean, to adopt this senior cat who you couldn't see what she was doing while you were talking, but she kept reaching her paw out to you.
Yeah, when she, I don't know if any of you noticed, but I was crying. She reached, when you started, oh, don't cry again.
Because it was the heart cat part.
Yeah, when you started talking about Chrissy Cat, she reached out, and for us, it looked like she was like reaching out to
reassure
you. And holy man, see, I'm emotional about it. It was really sweet because we know like what that was like for you because we talked to you about it.
Yeah.
But holy moly, yeah, everything.
Ugly crying.
I know this was not.
Don't get us started, Marika.
Yeah, I know we weren't planning on having this kind of conversation. Which I mean, why didn't we plan on talking about a year in review? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, this is all so crazy. It's hard to look back at 2020.
Yeah.
But for me, what this is for anyone who follows the Limelight Pet Project or anyone who in the near future first learns about what we're doing, this is exactly what we want them to know as possible. That pets who are not particularly bright and shiny and sociable and ready and just like, puppy or kitten, they have so much love to give, so much life to give, so much to like joy to bring to our lives. They just need a chance. And we're here to help our rescue partners in their journey and the work they do to just shine a light a little bit brighter on the ones that are harder or just get overlooked or anything. Because not every single pet that we feature is necessarily harder to adopt in terms of like behavioral. They just maybe are a little bit older and a little crustier. But like, look, I mean, we know Sunny is missing a little bit of hair, but it's growing back, right?
Yeah.
And she's a little wobbly, but oh my gosh, she's sass. She is sass. She has so much personality that we haven't met her in person yet. But oh man, I'm in trouble for bad puns. Love it. But this is the exact happy story that we want every pet that we feature to have. And I really feel that people just follow along with what we're doing and go and learn about the rescues that we partner with, and you'll find somebody that's just waiting to bring light into your life.
We couldn't, after the segment, I showed Sunny to my kid and to my husband, and the pull and the connection was so strong that none of us were willing to leave her in the shelter one more night. We just couldn't. I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing she was in the shelter, and I know that my kid felt the same way. They're so sweet.
Look at
and she is magic in cat form. I mean, she doesn't have any fur on her backside because she had fleas and she had an allergic reaction to fleas. And her belly is shaved because she had to have surgery while she was in the shelter.
And she had a bunch of dental work done too, right?
She did have dental work done, so now she drools when you pet her, which is really funny because she's like, I'm so relaxed, and she just starts drooling, and you're like, oh. It's just, she's like this little love sponge that just soaks up every bit of love that you have to give, and then she gives it right back to you. She makes biscuits, and she has front claws, and she puts her claws just firmly enough on your hand where she doesn't hurt you, but she's like, I'm here and I want your attention, please. And she headbutts, like, and it's not nice. It's like, I'm here, pet me right now. So, like, she's very confident in who she is, and I think we should all strive to be Sunny. Like, say what we need and ask for what we want. Like, let's just all be like Sunny.
She's pleasantly assertive.
Yes. And so confident for a shelter cat. There's not, I haven't found anything that she's fearful of. I haven't tried the vacuum yet, but I haven't found anything that she's fearful of. She faces it and she's like, okay, that's what it is. Let's move on. She's amazing. I can't believe that she was in a shelter, like a little diamond in the rough right here. I'm happy. I'm very happy that we adopted her. And she may be bonding with my son right now. Or my husband. She seems to prefer men, and that's totally okay, because that's totally okay. Maybe she may not be my heart cat, but she might be Kyle's heart cat. She might be Tony's heart cat, but she's happy, and that's what makes me happy.
But I like how you brought up that she's a diamond in the rough, because I feel like all of the animals that we feature are diamonds. We just need to shine enough light on them for people to see. Like the kittens that I was just fostering, they had ringworm and 2 of them were really shy, and they just needed to get over their fungus, and they needed to just have some extra socializing to be confident. And the family that adopted the 2 girl kittens, and they're older kittens, around 6 months old, she sends me photo updates, and they are shimmering diamonds in their new home.
Oh,
I mean, I get those pictures and they make me cry.
Yeah, because our job is worth doing for them. Yeah.
Don't start, Tracy.
I'm sorry.
We're spending the last day of 2020 crying.
I think it's appropriate though, because 2020 really sucks. I mean, there were good things that happened, but as far as my animal family, 2020 sucked. We had lost our Malamute last Christmas just before COVID came to the States, and then my cat, and we were down to just Mosey, one dog. She was lonely. Like, it was just, it was so much.
Look at your cat.
And this little one is like, yeah, it was a lot, Holly, but I'm here now and everything's okay.
Like, I'm here to help welcome you into 2021. And
yeah.
She's so zen.
Yeah, she really is. And she's purring. She has not stopped purring this entire time. And her purr is not very loud. Her voice is kind of weak, and I don't know if that's from being in the shelter or because she wasn't feeling well. So she's got this old lady cackling meow. Where it's like syllables. She can't quite get it out smoothly quite yet. So I'm curious to see if that changes as she starts to feel better. But the purr does not stop. The purr is, and she'll get so into it, and her eyes will half close, and she'll start rocking back and forth in rhythm to her purr. She's just an amazing cat.
Well, and
Go ahead.
Her energy is just so much different. You were talking about two kittens. I'm sure you guys could hear the meowing and the thundering paws in the background while Holly was trying to talk. They're not really kittens anymore, but our kittens always have a lot to say and a lot to do. So opposite ends of the energy spectrum, but I feel like I can feel her Zen energy through the camera.
Yeah. And your house is always so full of love and so happy, and there's always so much amazing energy in your house. That's why I love my Tuesday mornings at your house. It's just like, and I wanted that in my own home, but you can't replicate that because that's your house, and this is where my house is right now. Just supposed to be quiet and calm for this old girl, right?
Oh, look at her. I love that straight leg. It's so good. So
I swear she talks.
Look at her. I want to pivot a little bit because I want to each of us talk a little bit about what are you most, I don't know if it's proud of, or what do you find most hopeful or inspiring in the work that we've been able to be a part of during 2020?
I think I'm proudest of the fact that 2020 hit all of us hard, but we didn't miss a beat. Like Marika, you were on it. You were like, we're moving to Zoom. This is still going to happen. And we just figured it out. And I'm
Sorry, Tracy, you're like, everything you're saying is magic, but I don't know what Sunny is doing back there.
like,
It's time for some 80s exercise moves.
She's just trying to lick her incision and she can't reach it.
Oh, I think I saw that 80s workout video.
Here we go.
Oh,
Sorry, Tracy. Let's try again.
But we just went with it. I mean, we pivoted, and when everything hit and everything was still so uncertain in March and April, in the very beginning, I thought maybe we can't do Limelight anymore. And Marika was like, nope, it's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. And it was definitely not as bumpy or rocky as I thought it was going to be. And we just adapted, and we were still able to create content in a COVID safe way and help those diamonds shine.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think the thing that I am most proud of is that I'm part of a team that goes out of their way to make time to find these animals and help them find homes. Every time an animal gets adopted, I'm like, oh, I was part of that. Like, I was part of that. And it's not I did that kind of thing. It's that I'm part of this team of you guys and Q13. But I'm part of a team that is effectively and systematically helping these animals in such a way that I have never been a part of before. And of course now this.
I want to see that full leg stretch. I mean, I love how much real estate this little cat is taking up.
Yeah.
She's not as little as you think. She's a big cat.
No.
Yeah, she's probably not quite as big as Indy, but when she fills out, she'll probably be around the same size as Indy. She's a solid big cat.
And for reference for anybody, Indiana is our black house panther, who was a bottle baby orphan and is now about 17. He might be 18 pounds. COVID hit him kind of hard. He's got a little bit of a belly. I mean, we're trying to encourage him to play and work that weight off. But yeah, he's giant.
Yeah, she's going to be a big girl when she fills out. You can definitely tell that she's thin around the face. Her back end is really, there's not a lot there. So when she fills out, I think she'll be close to 15 pounds. She'd be a good sized cat.
Wow. So I agree with everything both of you guys said about 2020, how proud we are of the work we've done. Definitely like our pivot. I'm so proud of us for doing that. I know everyone everyone in the world was in the same boat of maybe this is only going to be a few weeks, so we'll just, you know,
Can we not do that on camera?
you know, take
I mean, that would be
we'll
great.
just take a little bit of a break, or we'll, you know, we ran a couple of pets again that hadn't been adopted, but we had featured. But then we pretty much realized, oh no, this is going to be happening for a while, and we can't go do in-person interviews. And yeah, we figured it out. And the thing that I am also so proud of, I'm just so proud of our rescue partners. Watching them make their pivots was freaking amazing. How they just, you know, made it work. Still made a way that they could safely adopt animals out, or safely support the community and helping them. And then the home-to-home programs that started popping up and helping people who needed to find a home for their pet, but they didn't want them to be in a shelter. And I don't know, it's just amazing to see the work that our community does. And I'm so honored to have all of the rescue partners that we have and get to feature them. And also, like, really, it felt really good to be able to email them and say, hey, guess what? We're not giving up. We are coming up with a new way to continue to do this work. And every single time we send an email and we hear back, yes, we're ready. We'll go. We want to be featured. I've never used Zoom, but we'll make it work.
Right.
So, and it's just, you know, it's been really amazing.
There was a level of excitement of the unknown with our rescue partners when it all started, and when we pivoted. I had never used Zoom before this. I'm an expert now. But the level of excitement and how proud they were of you, Marika, for coming up with the program that you came up with for us to pivot and to use Zoom, and if possible, go take pictures. If not, that was okay. And the way that you are also enabling them and teaching them how to take better photos. Even on their website, their photos are improving, which is improving their adoption rates. And that's all because we had to pivot, and then we had to you had to teach them how to take better photos. So all the way around, it has turned into this wonderful, amazing, serendipitous kind of outcome that we were not expecting when we first had to pivot. We thought this was going to be hard, and it was at first.
Yeah.
But
and then when we got to go back to in person, I knew there was going to be a point that we would have to go back to virtual. Like it was inevitable that we were going to get into the months of the year that this was going to get hard again. And so I think that making the pivot that we made has set us up to, no matter what, we always have a way to work with our rescue partners in shining the light on harder to adopt pets. Like there's nothing that can get in our way unless, oh gosh, knock on wood, there's no more internet.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. No.
Even with all of our tech issues, I mean, like I am like the poster child of tech issues. My computer is like, camera? What camera?
What camera?
Our biggest challenge has always been audio. We can't control the audio on the other end.
Right.
Right.
But you know what? As long as we can get the story out, that's what matters.
Right.
So, okay. So next I want to know, what are you excited about for 2021 in terms of the work that we can do?
Well, I'm being very quiet going into 2021 because I don't want it to know that I'm here.
I'm going in loud. I am going in loud. I'm excited, but I'm super flexible.
I'm sneaking in, like, no, I'm not here. I am looking forward to more stories like this. Because at first I thought, how can people connect with an animal over a video? How can you know that this is the right animal for you? I had all of these questions. If you can't hold them, you can't interact with them, you can't see them, you can't talk to them, how in the world are you going to be able to adopt one?
You just did it.
It just happens. It just like those magical stories that you hear of people, and I'm one of them. As soon as you see your soulmate, your partner, your husband, and you just know. I just knew. Even over video, I just knew that she was the cat for us. So yeah, I'm excited now to see more of these magical stories happen. And I would really encourage people who follow a Limelight feature and then end up adopting a pet to reach out to us and say, hey, I saw your feature. I adopted this pet. This is what happens. Because for me, that's the exciting part.
Yeah, well, and sometimes they don't adopt the exact pet that we feature, but they adopt another one because they saw the feature. And that is just, don't go back again.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about.
Like, that's what
2021.
I love it.
For 2021, I'm excited because I think that the pandemic is, I'm not excited about this part, but I think that it's only going to get worse before it gets better. So I'm excited to hopefully feature more animals in their foster homes, because that's where they are comfortable and they've gotten to know their foster parents. And like you were saying, Holly, it's hard, like it doesn't always translate if you can't be there in person, but if the animal's in their element. Fortunately, Sunny was just like friendly and you know, reaching out and interacting with Lindsay, but sometimes in a shelter environment, the animal shuts down just a little bit and it's harder to get a sense of their personality. So I'm hoping that we can get a lot more of these interviews where the foster parent kind of gets to lead the way and talk about, you know, what makes that animal special.
Yeah, that's
tuning in again.
That's definitely another really amazing thing about pivoting to doing virtual interviews, is that our shelter partners just have to send an email introduction to the foster, and then we send them the link to our landing page that has all the videos about how to take the great photos to use in our features and how to take the video clips that we use in the features, and just really walks them through that process. So it gives them something fun to do with the pet that they're fostering. And then also it prepares them for, and we also send them our interview questions so they know ahead of time a little bit about what we're going to ask. But it gives them something to look forward to. And also it like takes the pressure off of our rescue partner having to arrange all the things. All they have to do is they trust us. They know we've got this under control. We send a Zoom link. We're like, we'll see you Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the internet. And it's so much fun. And we just, you know, we dedicate an hour, sometimes it's longer, to just hanging out. And then sometimes we're able to go and take professional photos if it's, you know, if we can do it outside, but we can't be close to people. Like we've been able to do that. I remember the first session back was with Zelda from Save a Mutt, and we had done our interview over Zoom, and then I went and took photos of Zelda, and I felt like a new person, or a return to my heart, because it had been months since we got to go out and do this work. And so it was just so incredible. And I look forward to when we get to go back out in person again, because that's, you know, for Holly and I, that's our heart work, is capturing these animals in portraits so that people can see how beautiful they are through an image. And so I don't know, I'm excited for all of the things for 2021. I'm excited for a new level of Limelight, whether that's learning more stories of what happens after pets are adopted, whether they've been through Limelight or not. Like I'm excited to just hear about the people who are adopting, and to hear like more from fosters. Yeah, Tracy, I want more time with people who are opening their homes as a temporary situation for pets to help them find their forever home. Like that right there is the magic for me as well.
And wouldn't it be amazing if this experience that we're all sharing, that's called COVID, changes the way animals are sheltered in the Seattle area because of the work that we do? So instead of putting a cat like Sunny in a shelter, finding her a foster home, because how many people have stepped up now to say, yes, I'll foster because I'm home, I'm working from home. So how amazing would it be if COVID changed the way we sheltered animals until they could find their forever homes? That would be something to shoot for. Like that would be amazing.
Well, you guys know our friend Lauren of All Dog Kind, she fostered 8 dogs in 2020.
Yeah, she did.
That's amazing. I wish she was here right now so she could talk about it, because it's amazing.
And we'd all be crying.
Yeah.
We'd all be crying because her heart is totally in that fostering. Like that's her heart. when she starts to talk about it, you can just feel like the hearts and the butterflies come out of her head and surround her, and the little birds are chirping around her head. It's like, it's amazing to watch because that's her magic, and that it's amazing to watch.
Well, and when all of this started, I thought, how is that going to work? Like contactless foster, contactless adoption, and it's been seamless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's of course the social awkwardness, like staying far enough away and, you know, having your mask on and making sure that you're, you know, not too close, and reassuring the cat or the dog, like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, take you to this person now, it's okay. But shelters have adopted out hundreds and thousands of animals this way, fostered and adopted them. And I do think that this is going to be the way our lives are for probably most of 2021. We're all going to still be home more. So I'm hoping that more people will be able to foster.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And Sunny can be our face of 2021.
I love it. Okay, so I would like to know if you have one message for the people of Seattle and beyond for 2021. What would it be?
Does it have to be about animals or just in general?
Be whatever you want it to be.
Oh my gosh. Wear a mask and be safe. Yeah. I don't want to lose any more friends to COVID, so wear a mask and be safe.
And I would say while you're doing those things, persevere.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get knocked down, and you might be down for a few days, but you need to get back up and keep on fighting the good fight.
Yeah. I love that I asked this question and now I can't think of anything. Those are both really good. 'Cause, I mean, for me, yeah, definitely resilience, stay strong, and hug your pets.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want it, if they like hugging. Pet
So
them.
far,
Give
so
them
far.
treats. Pet them, give them treats, love them. Write them love notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do all of it.
Enjoy the time that you have with them because it ends too fast.
Yeah.
It's too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Chrissy Cat was going to be immortal. Like, yeah. So enjoy them when you have them. And wear your mask.
Yes, wear your mask. All right, well, any last words of 2020?
See ya 2020. Those are my last words. Bye-bye.
Tracy?
I'd say good job, everybody, for dealing with such an unusual situation. And here's to a new year where we start off on the right foot and the right paw and the right hoof, and fingers and paws crossed that things are going to go better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm also going to say ta-ta 2020. I'm Marika.
I'm Holly.
I'm Tracy.
And we shine the light
On harder to adopt pets.
Because their stories are worth telling.
Yay! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!